This
No.
conference will now be recorded.
See anybody online.
Ready?
Ready.
All right, we'll call the zoning board meeting of May 17th to order. It's 6 o'clock on the dot right now. I'd just like to start off, if you guys are on board, I'd like to have a motion to move the request for hearing for zoning board case 22-05 to the first.
Okay,
Motion approved, yeah.
Seconded?
second.
Those in favor?
All right.
Aye. All right, we'll move to that. So we've got a letter requesting us, do I need to read this into the record, or
I would,
you would? Okay.
just like, in case it goes to court.
It's from David Berard, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. Letter is a request for a rehearing of the Anchorage Winnisquam LLC, request for a variance from Article 7, Appendix C to allow the construction of a building with a height of 59 feet where 40 is allowed. The board vote was not in compliance with RSA 674.33 as required in state laws and the Tilton zoning regulations. Specifically, RSA 674.33, is that an I or a 1? I think that's an I.
IB1.
IB1 and B2. These sections define what a hardship is, and per the zoning regulations, a hardship has to be shown to grant a variance. In the public hearing on this matter, the applicant stated that as an opening description of the proposed development, they had reasonable proposals to develop the land in compliance with the town rules. Additionally, the applicant's architect, when asked in the public hearing if there were other alternatives in compliance with the town rules, answered in the affirmative and explained what they were. Other testimony in the public hearing explained that there were other reasonable alternatives that complied with the rules and a hardship did not exist, meeting the definition of RSA 674.33. RSA 674.33 IB2 specifically states that there is a reasonable alternative to the land use and in compliance with the town's rules, then a hardship does not exist and therefore a variance should not be granted. I hope in evaluating the above, a rehearing will be granted in compliance with the state's RSAs and the town's rules will be adhered to. Signed, David L. Berard. My initial feeling on it is he's specifically choosing the second half of the unnecessary hardship, is what he's referencing, which only comes up when, I'm going to reread it here, explain how if the criteria in paragraph A is not established, then an unnecessary hardship would be deemed to exist if and only if, owing to a special condition of the property that distinguishes other properties in the area, the property cannot be reasonably used in strict conformance with the ordinance, and a variance is therefore necessary to enable the use of it. But that only falls into play, so to speak, if you can't meet the first half of 5. And the first half of 5 is owing to a special condition of the property that distinguishes it from other properties in the area. A denial of the variance would result in unnecessary hardship because no fair and substantial relationship exists between the general public purposes of the ordinance provision and the specific application of that provision to the property. And you fill in the reasonings, and the second half is the proposed use is a reasonable one. My personal feeling, I'm all ears for you guys, of course, is that after reading some of the case laws talking about how the state loosened up the restrictions on hardships because it was basically impossible to grant a variance, specifically deeming to what makes that piece of property unique or any piece of property unique. My feeling is that we don't need to have a rehearing on it. It's a pretty unique piece of property. They have a unique plan in that bowl. They're trying to do a unique thing by not overdeveloping the footprint on it.
Correct.
Correct.
I don't feel the need to hear about it again.
Right. I agree.
I agree.
We make a motion to deny the request for rehearing. I will make a motion to deny the request to rehear zoning board case 22-0-05.
I'll second your motion.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. The rehearing is denied. Awesome. All right.
Have a good night.
Case 22-06.
I'll talk to you when we go get back.
Bye, have a good one.
Evening.
Good evening.
Oh, I'm up.
You're up.
Officially, that's how it is. Okay, I'm up.
see that we have one in front of you. Is this okay? I can move it up a little bit more.
Okay, guys. Okay, guys.
Oh, yes, thank you. I did forget. Well, just for a point of order here for you, we only have 3 board members tonight. So without the 4th member, it has to be unanimous vote and approval. You have the option to wait a month until our 4th member's here.
My fate will lie in 3 of you.
Okay, sounds good.
So my name is John Bernard, and I'm trying to develop this property, which the easiest way to describe it is next to an auto body shop. To the east and to the west is Rap City. I don't know if you're familiar with those places. Yep. So these lots are under what they call the general commercial district. And in those areas, they were designed for larger developments. For example, Hobby Lobby, how that got developed, be Shaw's, how Tanger Outlet got developed. And why I say that is because it requires a 50-foot setback. This property is only 97 feet across. So if you did a 50-foot setback, and we're referring to this lot here only, I'm sorry, but if you did a 50-foot setback on each one of these things, you would have 0 area to build. So that is why it's unique. I'm going to run down through the requirements that we need for the hardship, and then I'd just like to talk generally about the property after that.
Excellent, that is.
This is Rap City, then this is what we're proposing. I'm sorry, I should explain that.
Okay.
So Rap City,
So you're number 5, you're number 5 on
Lot
here,
5.
lot 5.
you got me.
Okay, I actually understand this very differently. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I know, it's a
Okay.
little
Thank you,
confusing,
yeah.
because even the fire chief got a little confused.
Yeah, you know, it's
Yeah. And the
kind of
house,
merging a new plan with an old plan because the entrance is going to be here and
Off Rap Cities?
yeah, we're going to extend it. So again, I'm involved with the state. I've spent quite a bit of money getting to the engineering state, but they're backed up almost a year. So I'm trying to get everything else in a row. And so when they do it, we can do it. But one of the things that's happening here is that you're going to have what they call a waiting lane here. So when you pull into Rap City now, there's one that comes in and one that comes out. The problem is if someone's trying to go left and they're sitting here, then you have traffic backed up and they can't get off the road and they're stopped there. So what you do is you put in a waiting lane. And again, this has nothing to do with with you guys, but
Right.
it's just informational type of information. So anyway, so we'll be extending it and having a waiting lane in there if this gets approved by everybody who goes through. The other thing that we should notice here, and we asked for a 0 setback on some of them, and that is because these parking lots would be used as one parking lot, even though they exist in 2 different lots. But we'll have one entrance and we'll use both the lots to meet all the setback criteria, which is, in my opinion, really good design. We're allowed to keep more green space and disturb less land actually by doing that. But again, if everybody's comfortable with that, I'll move on to trying to get through.
there's
the
2 buildings,
requirements.
so I just want 2 buildings. Have we been through
Sure.
that?
So this is a new building that we'll propose. This building actually already exists on the property right now. This is the front, and we'll be moving that to the back. You can see it. It will be turned into more of a garage type of building than left as a house.
It's a house right now.
It
It's
is a house right now, yeah. But it
So
will
you're
be-
gonna pick the house up,
Yeah,
move it,
I do.
and set it back.
That's correct. And we'll put a new foundation underneath it, yeah.
What are you gonna do with the old foundation?
Old foundation, you tear up and throw it away. It's a cinder block foundation. There's no value to that. You can't really do anything with it. It's debris that needs to be disposed of off-site.
So is it the new building that doesn't meet the setbacks or the old one? Or
Nothing meets any setbacks at all on this property.
Mhm.
There's 50-foot side setbacks on each one. So the property's 97 feet wide. If you do a 50-foot setback from each one, it doesn't.
It isn't even 100 feet.
They're right, so it doesn't qualify. So it's actually makes the job of proving hardship a little bit easier. This actually was designed specifically like this for a lot that really has to have relief to even be used for anything. So anyways, I'm getting ahead of myself, but.
No, actually, the context is helping a ton. I actually like the context better than just going through the 5.
That's fine, me too, but I practice. So this house is up front, to be picked up, moved to the back, and then there'll be a new building erected. It's gonna look exactly, again, I'm getting out of the realm of your, but it's gonna look exactly like It's going to be a duplicate of what Rapid City is. And I think that that would really make a nice appearance for everything. So if you like the quality and the looks of that building, you'll have another one.
So functionally, you're
Yes.
turning these into, I understand that tax map wise, functionally, these are gonna be one lot.
That's
basically.
correct. They'll have an easement over each other.
Okay, and they're gonna have the same access, this isn't putting a whole new access on the.
Same road
Right,
access.
Right,
That's
right.
the only access there is. Right now, there is an additional access here, which we can use because we have the rights to use it. But when I went to getting through the state is quite an ordeal. I don't even mind telling you, just for the study to get there, it's over $7,000. That's just so they can look at it. And we had a meeting, and you were involved with that meeting, right? There was 11 of us there in the meeting, and really it comes down to one man who makes these decisions. But the state has now, through their infinite wisdom, has taken all of their intake, traffic, organizational, and studies, and has contracted it out. So we're waiting for those contractors before it can actually get to the state employees. And the last time I was known, there's a Starbucks going over in Guilford, and they made their application in November and haven't heard anything since. So I'm kind of in the same boat as that, but I'll do a lot of prep work. The other thing that I should let you know is that the state said there was no problem if I want to do this now, but they wouldn't grant it for a convenience store. A convenience store goes into a separate category, which requires all the traffic studies. But let's say I wanted to put a shoe store in there or anything like that that was retail, they have no issues with it, and it would be approved instantly. It just gets kicked to the next level, and I'm probably going to get some crazy stuff with it, but it's called traffic per hour. They actually go out and study the traffic per hour, the right turns, left turns, and that's what costs all the money to create this report. So
it's functionally one lot.
it's one lot. The whole thing's going to function as one lot.
I was like, how is he putting?
And that's gonna be all pavement between the two, the park,
Correct.
that's all gonna be paved.
Yeah, and what it really allows us to do too is not to, we have a 20-foot side setbacks here, and we're able to actually maintain those setbacks and maintain quite a green area because we're utilizing both the backup areas that you need in conjunction with the two lots. So,
And fire review too.
so, yeah, that, Brian's messing, this line here is messing everybody up. But if I would erase it, then you wouldn't see that it's two lots.
And
So,
setbacks.
and setbacks, right?
You may as well read go through the 5 things just to
Yeah.
put that into record there.
So number one, a test for variance. Granting the variance would not be contrary to public interest. Under the current law and the public interest and the spirit of the ordinance, the criteria are considered together. So the public interest is not advanced by denial because this neighborhood is developing as a commercial lot. And it actually is an intense commercial lot and with very few remaining residences. So if we were to deny it and not allow any setbacks, the only thing we have to do is maintain that residential house there, which is really not what that area is turning into. No public goal will be satisfied by denial. The paving has no impact on the sight distance along the street due to the design of the parking lot. We're actually increasing it because we're only going to have one entrance instead of having two, but we will be increasing it. But right now, people would be stopping here and another guy's trying to get out here. It creates a little bit more of a mess than just having one. The spirit of the ordinance is observed because of what was said in the paragraph above. Number 3, substantial justice is done because none of the public purposes of the setback requirements are served by denial on the specific facts of the application. The buildable area is a negative 5 feet of the proposed entire use of the lot. And it is in character of the neighborhood and the purpose of the zoning district, which is the regional commercial district. Number 4, the values of the surrounding properties will not be diminished because the proposed uses are consistent with the already developed commercial zones, and there will be a new one as opposed to what we have there now. Literal enforcement of the provision of the ordinance would result in unnecessary hardship because 1, a legally buildable area is a negative 5 feet. So if we were to just, again, just repeating myself for the record, If we were just to take this lot, literally, you could not build on it. You actually, you're -5 feet, which is kind of funny because I don't think I've ever seen that before. To me. The purpose is consistent to allow the use of the zoning. Not granting the variance will form current zoning setbacks, severely restricting the economic viability of the lot. Unnecessarily hardship means that the owner to the special conditions of the property that distinguish it from other properties in the area. And two, part of that, the proposed is consistent allowed use in the zone. B, the special conditions of the existing lot with the size and width, it is different than most other lots due to the small size of the property. And C, it is reasonable to grant this variance so the lot can be utilized, kept within the intended spirit of the zoning in this area.
So the only place you need a setback from, if I'm understanding this right, hold on.
A couple places.
Yeah.
There's a couple of places. The front part,
Mhm.
if we would say you can't put parking there because you need a setback for parking, then we would need the same distance that we have setback over here. So we need, that would be in that 30-foot setback. We maintain this 20-foot setback along here, and we do need the parking lots where they merge, there's 0 setback there.
So you're meeting the southern setbacks, if I'm understanding this
I
right?
believe so.
Yeah.
Yes, I am. Yep.
And you're meeting the,
The side setback is, what is it?
I think
20?
it's 20 or 50 is required.
So, yeah, so we can't meet that, but we're maintaining 20. We're doing what we can to try to be consistent. So yeah, I do need a variance for that because I'm encroaching on the setbacks.
What's it supposed to be off of Laconia Road, 50 as well? And
30, off the road is 30, 20 back, sides of 50.
Yeah, you're not looking for front setback.
yeah, you don't need front.
I don't need a
setback.
front setback unless I need it for parking.
Not from us, right?
No.
Well, some, okay.
You didn't do a front setback.
Huh?
You didn't put in a front- we didn't put a
Well,
variance
I
for
didn't
front
think, well, there was a question about if you need it for parking lots or not. So in the past, we haven't, and then I heard it's kind of flip-flopping now, you might. So
I don't remember ever doing variances for parking, but
Well, it's the definition of structure.
well, I've never done it before in the past in here when we did this one
How
up
far are you
here.
here?
I don't believe we
How far are
did
you
it
here,
here.
John?
Huh?
How far are you back here? What's it just-
That's 30. So we're 30 to the building.
Oh, so you're saying 30 of the building,
But the
but there's
parking,
parking in the front.
which, like I say, I've never had to get it for parking before, but I'm here. If it's going to be an issue, I'd like to ask for it.
I'm trying to remember if we had to give variance for parking on a Honda.
We did, for them parking those cars in the front.
Was it for parking the cars because it was pad, or was it for the lot? Because they had like that display. I just can't remember the details
I
of it.
think it was for the-
Can he amend his thing on the?
Yeah, we can just, include the 30. It's parking, it's paving, the whole thing is.
Well, it matches whatever. We didn't give a variance for Rap City, so actually maybe I was on the board when Rap City got built.
I got
But he did
I
get a
mean, for the
because of
parking in the
50
front.
feet, but for parking, it was not an issue at that time.
variance. Yeah, and this is kind of like,
so I see Rap City is also 20 feet from the, so you must have gotten a variance at that. for
I
that.
did, I did.
Okay,
but he did not get a variance, like you said.
Parking.
We looked at that with John.
Right.
for parking.
For the
For
parking.
parking, there was never an issue at that time.
But
No.
it came up once at planning board, and because of Honda.
They deemed that it was a structure that was developed. Okay.
A
It's not
pile
natural.
of rocks is considered a structure when you go fishing, bass fishing, so I don't know. We draw a line. I mean, I don't know.
I mean, it makes so much more sense now that I was trying to figure out, I'm like, two buildings across from each other. I thought this was all one lot, but I understand what's understand what's going on here.
Yeah, because even, I'm just asking the dumpster pad, that's within the
I never got that one for the other one either.
Yeah,
I
see,
just-
that just, is that a structure?
I guess when you put a pad there or a dumpster there, it might be, but
Well, there's a dumpster pad for Rap City.
yeah, we never got an easement for that either. We just. got-
That's what I'm saying, you're right.
I know.
And is there gonna be a separate dumpster pad?
Yeah, be right next to it. I was gonna put it on right next to it. I show it right there on.
So that would be within 20 feet or whatever of the, or closer.
But I mean, then we gotta start talking about telephone poles.
I
Don't we
know.
get variance for a telephone
Or
pole
garbage?
or a garbage can or, I mean, it gets to the point where.
I don't know that a dumpster is, it's not a permanent structure. It's like saying.
What's a concrete pad?
Yeah, they do put
They're
them
Oh,
on
we could put it
pads.
require-
on a pad.
You have to put them
Okay.
on pads because of the way they lift them.
Correct. The state or I don't know, whoever,
Yeah.
right, all dumpsters are supposed to be on pads for
Right.
commercial.
So
And then the
that's
pad would be a structure.
on the ground.
So we need a variance. So he needs a variance on the, on all sides of the property.
Well, the pad, allow the pad to be what? I mean, you know how you
I know
fit
how
it?
far that is. It's like.
It looks like it's 15 feet on
Yeah.
the,
15, 10. Well, the other one next door is 15. You can see it on the
and the
plan.
property kind of,
Okay,
Angle
I
there.
think it's up, so I'd say 10 to be safe.
Right.
10 feet from the rear.
And your
And
butter
zero.
back there is the state of New Hampshire, right?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, now the state did ask about that building in an email, because I got the abutter notice, and
Okay.
asked, they would prefer that the building not encroach on their setback, and I told them it was not.
It does not. Does
So,
not. The building does not approach on this setback.
The one you're moving?
Right, the one I'm moving does
The
not
house.
approach the 20.
on the
it is a-
railroad,
It is a
the
20
railroad
foot,
contacted me.
it's a 20-foot setback
And you've met that.
and I meet that.
Okay.
So it's the side,
Yeah, the 20 foot on the side there, on the
The front,
east side,
The front.
the front
the
for the
front
parking lot.
30,
And they specifically said for the house too, so the pad, I don't think they have an issue with.
if we chose, if we vote to approve this, can we specify a 10-foot setback for a dumpster pad?
right, not for building,
Right, we can qualify that.
just to allow the dumpster pad.
Right.
Same thing for parking on the front, I assume.
He said,
Yeah.
to allow parking in front of 30 feet, with 30
Within the
feet,
30-foot
within the
setback.
30 setback.
it's hard to get in and out of there because I just was stuck for a while.
Yeah,
Cars
this is
coming-
gonna solve a lot of problems.
Put another lane in.
Yeah, they call it a waiting lane.
And they're gonna wait for a long time.
Because you gotta wait to pull across and go.
Yeah, I had
Right,
to wait,
so
I had
that's
to- I had to wait a
problem.
good 5 minutes before I could pull out.
Right, the problem is though, when you're sitting there waiting, the other person has a hard time coming in, so you have another waiting lane. Well, actually, you let all the traffic go to the right, 'cause you're shutting down that lane. Waiting,
Right.
people can't go right now. So. Yeah,
Guys,
What-
do you have any more questions? or-
What's gonna happen to the old right of way that's currently there? You're gonna
that
use
has to
that?
go away.
It's gonna go away.
Yeah, the state
The
does.
state will.
The state's on that road. I mean, they
Mhm. Well, I guess we can talk out loud here. The last board or a board approved the variance for Rap City. It's,
Not that there's any precedent in that,
No,
but
I know,
it does meet
Mhm.
what's happening. It does fit the spill of the area. Are you all done asking questions? Because I'll
Yes.
make it a
Yeah.
formal here. And there's obviously no public input,
Okay.
so we'll
Yep.
close public input and discuss amongst the board.
All right.
Yeah, I agree. It fits.
Yeah, I know they didn't set a precedence. I know that, but it has been approved and for the 20 feet on that lot, he's looking to do the same thing on the lot next door now.
I was thinking about this, obviously the lot is basically unbuildable, meeting the setbacks.
Mhm.
But if one were to say, no, we're not gonna allow this project, but someone comes back with another project and have another access onto Route 3 right there, whether or not the state allows it or
Mhm.
all the stuff gets met. To me, this makes us a smart use of small properties zoned in an area that was designed for bigger developments.
Yes.
I think moving everything into, excuse me, one access for the two properties, that's smart.
And he's meeting the rear setback towards the railroad.
Yep. And next to it is a residential, it's just
Even auto
It's the
body
same
shop
thing.
and residential.
Yeah.
Yeah. I spoke to him.
I did have another about a calling us a question, and once they understood it, they didn't understand it either. Said it was fine. I don't know what it was. She said she wasn't a butter.
Oh, is it that woman across the street? Oh, that's good.
Yeah, she said, "I'm fine."
I thought.
And fire did look at it for a turnaround and all that, so there's no issue with that.
So really, he needs a variance for the setback on the side of the building, side lot facing east, is that east?
That is east, yep.
Yeah, and then
The front,
front
and then,
side of the building he's moving, so the same setback, and then the pad, the dumpster pad.
exactly.
And the parking lot is obviously gonna have a 0 setback, so it'll become.
To allow paving to meet 0 setback.
This is gonna pave to the western side of the property,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm ready to move to the 5 if you guys are.
Yep, I am.
Granting the variance would not be contrary to the public interest. I do not believe it would be contrary to the public interest. I think that turning the 2 lots into one functionally, it makes sense. It actually serves to better the public interest, kind of to your experience with turning, having 2 access points on 2 small lots would just further add congestion there. If the variance were granted, the spirit of the ordinance would be observed. Well, the spirit of the ordinance was to move those areas to commercial uses. This is succeeding in that, taking another residential use. Granting the variance would do substantial justice. I see it doing justice again. It's kind of combining 2 properties into one makes sense in that area, given how small they are for their intended use. If the variance were granted, the values of the surrounding properties would not be diminished. I agree with that statement.
I agree.
Same
I
as
agree.
I think I'm gonna, if you guys are okay with it, I'm gonna move right to B on the unnecessary hardship on this one, because I think it's pretty straightforward. Explain how criteria in paragraph A is not established and unnecessary hardship would be deemed to exist if and only if, owing to special conditions of the property from other properties in the area, the property cannot be reasonably used in strict conformance with the ordinance, and a variance is therefore necessary to enable reasonable use of it. While our setbacks require a -5 buildable, 5-foot building area.
Yeah.
I think that's fairly self-explanatory. Any motions?
You want it all?
So if you,
Oh, I can do it, yeah. I
Are
can-
you
we have
doing
a
an
motion,
amendment?
and I would add
I can do it, yeah.
within
You said
30
an amendment.
feet for a front setback parking and a dumpster pad within 10 feet of the rear and 0 from the side, just to cover
Yes.
all. This has to go to planning, and they're the sticklers on the structure, so let's make sure they know that it vetted through here.
Mhm.
Okay, so I'll make a motion that we approve zoning board case 22-06, a variance from Article 7, Appendix C to allow construction of a convenience store on a lot in which is less than 1 acre. A variance from Article 7, Appendix C to allow the construction of a convenience store and relocation of existing structure 45 feet from the side setback on the westerly side, 20 feet from the side setback on the easterly side where 50 is required, and paving of a parking lot with a 0 setback on the westerly side. Create a contiguous parking lot with an adjacent lot that results in a 0-foot setback. To allow a 30-foot setback from the front for parking,
For parking.
and to allow a 10-foot setback on the rear for the purpose of a dumpster pad,
And 0 on the side.
and 0 on the side, again, because of the abutting properties. Yeah.
Yes.
I'll second it.
All right, any more discussion? No? Those in favor?
Aye.
The ayes have it.
Thank you.
Thank
very
you.
much. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
Welcome.
I've been on this zoning board before.
And then any motion to approve the minutes from May 3rd?
I'll approve, make a motion to approve the minutes for May 3rd.
I'll second it.
Motion made. Those in favor?
Aye.
Minutes passed. And a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I'm going to motion to adjourn the meeting at 6:30.
I second it.
It's been made and seconded. Those in favor? Meeting's adjourned.
So you
do
you have
we
to go to
stop
planning,
recording?
that'll be a while, because you're gonna get.
I think I can move the house, though, going to planning. The house already exists on the block. I'm gonna go to planning for RP. I'm thinking that, anyways, what do you think?
I should be able
The
to.
house?
I should be able to.